Hi traders, welcome to this video. Today I want to show you how you get inspiration from ETFs for your stock trading. I posted that on Twitter that I sometimes use ETFs for inspiration, and that ETFs sometimes show me or guide me to the right stocks. And I want to show you in this video how I do this and how I get some inspirations about single stocks from ETFs. I prepared a short list of ETFs here for this video, and the first one I want to show you is the Horizons Marijuana Life Science Index. So this is an ETF about cannabis stocks or marijuana stocks. And you can see that the ETF here is in a strong uptrend. So on the left side you have the weekly chart, on the right side you have the daily chart, and there's a lot of volume here in this ETF. And when I see such signs in an ETF, so big price increases and huge volume, I sometimes look behind the ETF or what is inside the ETF to get some inspiration for stocks. And I do that by a very, very simple approach. So I Google it, and I always type in the ticker symbol, so HMMJ, and then I type in top holdings, and this very small search phrase will lead me to the right website. And in that case, it's the original website from Horizons ETF, so the publisher from the cannabis ETF here. And if you now go to their website, you can see all the details about the ETF, but you can see also the top holdings, and here is a top holdings, and then you can see what's inside the ETF, and you can see also the weighting. And in that case here, so the stock with the biggest weighting is Canopy Growth. Then you have Afria, which I highlighted in my last newsletter, by the way. Kronos, JW, Pharmaceuticals, and so on and so on. And when I now want to see, for example, the chart of a single stock here, I only do one thing. I go back into my chart software, and then I type in the name, Canopy Growth, and then you can see the single stock. So this is a very, very simple approach. And then you can see that Canopy Growth with the highest weighting in the ETF is also in a very nice uptrend. And the second was Afria. I will open that for transparency. I have a position here in Afria. So you can see the second stock here, Afria, and when we switch back, Kronos, for example, another one, we can type in the name here, and then we see the chart from Kronos. So it's very simple to find stocks. And there is one additional thing. You can also download the full holdings list. So when you, for example, click on the website here, you can download a document. This is an Excel file. And when we now open the Excel file, you can see all the holdings from the ETF. And in that case, or with that file, you can see also stocks which have a smaller weighting. So for example, if we look at, let's take one name here, Hexo, for example, which is a known stock, but it has a very little weighting here. 1.77% of the capital from the ETF is in that. And now I can switch simple back into my web browser, type in Hexo, and then I find the stock here and can look at the stock. And this is how I do research with ETFs. And let's take some other ones. A very famous ETF at the moment, very popular, is the ARK Innovation ETF, and you can see it has a wonderful uptrend here and a strong rally. And now you may ask yourself, what's inside the ETF? So what is driving this ETF, and which stock has a big share of this uptrend, or has a big impact on this uptrend? And you do the same thing here. You take this ticker symbol ARKK, and then you can see here top holdings, and then go to the original website. That's always the best way. So ARK Invest, and then you can scroll down and look for the top holdings, and you can see, okay, Tesla, Roku, Teladoc, Square, CRISPR, Invitae, Baidu, Spotify, etc. So you can see all the holdings here, so the top holdings, and you can also download a PDF of all holdings from the ARK Innovations ETF. But you can see that 10% weight here is Tesla. And when you look now at the Tesla stock, just as an example, then you can see that it looks very similar to the ARK ETF. Let's take another one here, ARK Genomic Revolution ETF. This is also an ETF I'm monitoring because I want to get some stocks from the genomics sector, and this is not very easy because in a normal chart software or in a screener software, you don't have this very detailed industry or sector split. So there is no genomic industry or something. And that's why sometimes these ETFs are so helpful, because they present a very, very narrow selection of stocks from a larger sector or industry, in that case biotechnology. And if we now type in the symbol again here, this is ARKG, so ARKJ top holdings, and then we come back to the ARK investment website, and then you can see top holding here is Teladoc, then Twist, Pacific Bioscience, Cardex, etc. So you get a lot of symbols and a lot of inspiration. What's all, or which stock belongs to this genomic theme. But also be careful, because for me, and this is just my personal view, for me Teladoc is not a genomic company, or has nothing to do with genetics or genomics. And also other ones, for example, Roche here is not, in my view, is not a company which is engaged so much in this theme. And the ETFs need those stocks, because sometimes they are so big, they have so much capital, and they can't invest it into smaller companies like Twist here, for example, or CRISPR or whatever, because otherwise they have a too high market cap or too high stake in the company. So that's why they are sometimes buying other companies which are related to this theme, or more or less related to the theme. Or for example, Roche Holdings is a big pharmaceutical company which have some contracts and agreement with biotech companies. So just from the politics side and from the stock selection, you can buy shares and you can make a relation to this theme. But for me personally, this is not a company which is engaged in the genetic theme. That's why it's always also important to look at the companies and really to find out if they are strongly related to the theme which the ETF represents. Let's look at another one, because this is also interesting. This is a solar ETF. So they only represent solar stocks. And you can see that here also this ETF 10 has a very nice pattern here, something like a cup and handle before the rally started here. And the same thing here, if we type in TAN top holdings or TAN ETF, then you get a lot of search results here. And when you do not see the original company here, I personally prefer, but I don't want to make advertising for them, I prefer ETF.com, because it's a very simple website and you can see everything you need. And when you scroll down on ETF.com, you find the same information. You see the top holdings here, and you can see the top holding is Enphase and SolarEdge, Darko New Energy, Sunrun, and so on. And you can see also that the top 10 stocks in the ETF together have a weighting of 60%. So that's very high. And you have also the possibility to see all the stocks here. And there are also foreign stocks, not only US stocks in that ETF. But when we look, for example, here at the stock with the highest weighting, Enphase, so I know the ticker symbol, it's ENPH. So you can see also it's in a very nice uptrend. And so in that way you can find solar stocks. Let's look at another one, and this is Drive. So the name of the ETF is Autonomous and Electric Vehicles. So a very nice name, of course. Maybe very good for marketing at the moment. And when we type in Drive into a Google search engine, then you can see here global X ETFs. So I already visited the website. And then you can see also here the top holdings. And I looked at this ETF before I recorded this video, and I was a little bit surprised what are the stocks inside this ETF. And you can see Microsoft, Google, Intel, Qualcomm, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, maybe. Toyota, Micron, etc. So very technology, or they have a very high weighting in technology and semiconductors. So nothing which I have in mind related to autonomous driving. Of course, Microsoft, maybe they have some software department which develops software for cars. Google is engaged with Google Maps and also with their driving projects. Intel produces software chips, semiconductor chips. Also Qualcomm, Apple, maybe they will do something in maybe create a car or something in future. Nobody knows. Tesla, of course. Nvidia is a producer for autonomous driving, software and hardware. Toyota, maybe, but it's not the top electric vehicle company you expect when you look at the name of the ETF. Micron, also semiconductor company, and Cisco, maybe they have some infrastructure things. And this is the reason why I always say, okay, look behind the ETF and look also behind the companies, if they are really engaged, or if the ETF has to own them because they have so much capital and need to buy big large cap and mega cap stocks. And here's the same thing. You can download the full list from everything they own. It's a little bit not so good to read here, but if you scroll through the names here, you can see a lot of semiconductor companies. But then you can see here, for example, NIO is also a company which I personally think is more related to this theme. Volkswagen here from Germany, where I live. They are not the number one electric vehicle company. Then you can see a lot of mining stocks also here. Freeport McMoran, Panasonic, one of the largest battery producers in the world. BYD, Plug Power. So, for example, for high hydro fuel. And and some other things here. Geely Automotive, Yandex, which is a search engine from Russia, so no idea why it's included here. Albemarle, so this is mining. Ballard Power, Bloom Energy. This is all this hydro fuel thing. And then you can see London Mining is also a mining stock, and so on and so on. So you can see that it's really a mix of everything here, which is more or less related to this autonomic and electric vehicle thing. But I'm missing a lot of stocks here in this ETF because I have a completely different picture when I look at electric vehicles. So but that's why it's also important to look inside the ETF and see if it's really owning the stocks which are related to the theme or not. When we look at block, for example, this is just from my understanding, this is a blockchain or cryptocurrency ETF. And when we look inside this ETF, I was surprised if I looked at the ETF the first time, because they are owning a lot of stocks, also smaller ones, which from my perspective are related to this theme. And the stocks where I think they are related to the blockchain and cryptocurrency theme, they have a high weighting here, and this is very interesting. So MicroStrategy, for example, yes, they have something to do with blockchain or with cryptocurrencies, because I think they converted their cash into Bitcoin or something, so they own a lot of Bitcoins. But here, for example, Marathon Patent is one well-known name in the cryptocurrency. Square, for example, also has something to do with cryptocurrency. They are offering an app. I'm not 100% sure about Silvergate. I did not any research about that. But then you can see also Hive here, for example. Then the ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. They are producing or offering futures on Bitcoin. So there are more stocks here. Riot, for example, is also one. Canaan is also a name which is known. And they are also owning, and this is also very nice, they're owning Bitcoin by themselves. So Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So when we look at this block holdings, I think that's a better structured ETF because it's much more related to the theme than for example, the autonomous driving ETF we looked at a minute ago. So let's go quickly to the last three ones here. XWeb. This is an internet ETF. And you can see also it's up. And if you compare that XWeb here with ARC, you can see it's very, very, it looks very similar. So XWeb and the ARC innovation. And here's also when we look at the website, XWeb top holdings. In that case here, I use ETF.com. Then we scroll down to the top holdings here. You can see they are owning a broader range of internet-related stocks. So you can see the weighting is only 25% from the top 10 stocks. And Magnite, ReReal, IAC, Overstock, Stitch Fix, EverQuote. So these are more smaller companies, and they are owning a lot of companies when we look here at the all holdings. So this is a broader range of stocks, but can give you also inspiration for smaller companies. Hack is also a good example. Hack is cybersecurity. So if we look at the Hack ETF here, Hack top holdings, let's take here ETF.com as website. Let me scroll down, and then you can see here top holdings from Hack. Yeah, BlackBerry, not the number one which comes in my mind when it comes to cybersecurity. Qualys, yeah, a more mature company. Cisco, also a well-known name. So and there you can see here also it's more a broader range of stock. But if we now look into the top 10 holdings here, you can see also some newer names. So for example, Tangible or Tenable holdings, Ping Identity, Cloudflare also with 2.5% here, SailPoint. So you can see they are owning also ETF, and they are also owning some IPOs, CrowdStrike, Toughen, also all names you already know if you are a subscriber of my free newsletter. And so also this hack can give you some inspiration. And the last one which I want to show you is KWeb. KWeb is represents stocks from China which are related to internet and e-commerce. And let's see what they are owning. So if we type in KWeb here, KWeb, and also either go to the ETF.com website or to Crane Shares directly. Then we scroll down again, and then we can see, okay, they are owning Tencent, then Meituan, or however you pronounce it, Alibaba, Pinduoduo, JD, Bilibili, NetEase, and so on. They have a very high weighting here in the top 10 stocks, so they are a very focused ETF. And when you look at the stocks and the holdings, you can see that, or you cannot see that on the first view, but I personally know a lot of stocks which are not listed in the US. For example, Tencent is a stock. They are owning 10%, or they have 10% of their capital in Tencent, and Tencent is not listed in the USA, so only in the OTC market or directly on I think that's the Hong Kong exchange here. So, and then of course I can open the chart, but I would not trade Tencent in Hong Kong. So if I would trade Tencent, I would do that here OTC, for example, which is also very liquid. Then you have another one here, Meituan. So let's see Meituan. You can see it's also tradable over the counter, so in the OTC market, but also Hong Kong. Let's look at the OTC stock here. It's also looking very nice here, but it's not very liquid. So if you look at the volume here, and then Alibaba, Pinduoduo, you can trade them all in the US. JD Health is, for example, one you cannot trade in the US. So let's see if we can see them. OTC market and also on the Hong Kong exchange. You can see that the chart looks very destroyed here on the OTC market. So if we want to look at the stock, we have to do that on the Hong Kong exchange. Okay, so just to sum it up quickly, so ETFs can give you a lot of inspiration regarding stocks, especially if you have a theme which is currently in favor. But it's always important to look inside the ETF. So what are they owning? And also to look behind the stocks, because not every stock which is inside the ETF is really related to the theme. So because sometimes ETFs have to own a lot of stocks because of liquidity reasons. But I think To use ETFs to find some inspiration and to find some single stocks is a very good method, and it's much more easier instead of going to an industry or sector and then looking at every stock to which theme the stock belongs or not. Okay, I hope that video helped you to improve your stock selection. You can follow me here on YouTube, so if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down, that's also appreciated. You can leave a comment if you have a question, or you can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I personally recommend to subscribe to my free newsletter. I send it out every Sunday with trading tips and also 3 stocks from my personal watch list.